Hello, welcome to episode 138 of Fiber Town. I was caught off guard a bit there. How is everyone doing? I'm doing well. Let me introduce myself because I realized last time I just assumed you all knew who I am. And since this is my third year Podiversary, it's time for a reintroduction. My name is Emily. I am Chain of Fools on Ravelry. I am Fibertown with an R-E on Instagram. Our Ravelry group is Fiber Space Town Podcast. It's Fiber with an R-E as well. And guess what, everyone? Thanks to all of you, and especially String Bean on Ravelry, we are over 1,000 members, and I can give away a skein of Woolmizer today. So thank you so much for joining the group. And we're approaching 1,000 YouTube subscribers, which is also just wonderful. What else can I tell you about myself? You can find this podcast on iTunes. Feel free to leave a review. I haven't had one in ages, although that might be a lie because there seems to be some sort of issue with my iTunes reviews. When I look at iTunes on my computer, it says that this podcast doesn't have enough ratings or reviews to have a rating. That is not the case when I use my podcast apps on my phone. I have 70-some star ratings and 40 or 50 written reviews. So maybe they're just hiding new ones from me. I don't know. Bottom line is, those are appreciated if you feel moved to give me one. YouTube is another place you can find Fibertown. I mentioned that already, didn't I? The blog, fibertown.blogspot.com. And yeah. So this is episode 138, and today is the 22nd of January, 2016. Alice is under the table licking the floor, as usual. I'm in my kitchen, and it's snowing. It's going gangbusters outside. It's a Friday. It's a snow day. My son hasn't been to school all week because we had Monday, Tuesday off. He was sick Wednesday. And you may have heard about the Carmageddon snow dusting here on Wednesday night and the subsequent canceling of everything on Thursday and today. But this is going to be, all signs point to this being a pretty big storm, and in fact blizzardy, with lots of winds and bad visibility. There's a snowplow going down our street right now. Perhaps later I will turn the camera and you can see the snow. Maybe you don't want to see the snow. Maybe you're sick of snow already. I know a lot of people are, but DC has just not gotten her snow legs yet this winter. I heard someone use that term on Instagram, and it's so true. At any rate, let's get on with this show, you guys, because so many awesome things happening. Alice is my dog. She's down here. She'll probably come and say hi later. Okay, I have introduced myself. I've been podcasting for 3 years. Thank you for being here with me. Whether this is your first time or you've been here for all 3 years, it's been fabulous. I would not change a thing about doing this. No regrets. It's the people. The people mostly. Inspiration is second. And just the fun. So thank you, everyone. Let's see. I have quite a few people who have introduced themselves this week in the Rav group. And I'm going to have a sip of coffee as I pull up that thread. Uh-oh. Ravelry's got one of those. You've encountered an error photos. Let me try again. This is not good, folks. That might mean that I can't pull up the winner of the Woolmizer giveaway. Oh dear, dear, dear. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. We're going to have to come back to this. I will keep looking to see if Ravelry gets its boo-boo fixed. So, Alice is having a drink too. Can you hear? Okay. All right, so that's a bummer. I wanted to give away the Woolmizer. which is over here. I just kind of threw everything on the table today. Okay, you want to come up? And it's really not easy to find things, unfortunately. Come here. Come here. Come here, sweetheart. She just had a walk in the snow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Did you go walkies? Did your boy take you walkies? No? She does not like to go for a walk without me. So there was a lot of coaxing along. All right, well, let me tell you what I'm wearing, shall I? I'm wearing my, what is this called? Irish Coffee by Thea Coleman, and it's a ribbed top and a cabled body, and this is out of some Dorset Down Frisian wool from Mediceld Farm that I dyed, and then I knitted it up. So it was already in the yarn form. I did not spin it, but I think it looks great with a cowl. I was not loving it just with the neckline by itself. Just didn't suit me. I'm going to put you down so I can show this cowl up close, Alice. This is out of some spindle spun. Or maybe it wasn't all spin. I honestly don't remember. But this is all Gourmet Stash, her Deathly Hollows. Was it? No, Horcruxes. So Harry Potter inspired. And I haven't worn this a whole lot. I think I knit it as the weather was warming up last year, and now I get a chance to wear it, and it's just cast on a ton of stitches and knitting around until it was as wide as I liked. Alternating hand spuns as I felt like it. So there are actually 7 colorways in here, and it's luxury yarn, as Gourmet Stash usually is, and it's lovely. So it wraps, it's very long, comes down to my navel, and wraps around twice very, very nicely. So I will go ahead and do that, and then we can get on to the rest of the show. I don't want that in the front. I want this in the front. Okay, so let's see if Ravelry is back up. Come on, Ravelry. Oh, it's looking promising. Excellent. Okay, so B&B Knitter. Hi, she's celebrating her 70th birthday soon. Congratulations. She's been knitting since she was 15. Oh my gosh. So, she operates a B&B in the Adirondacks in New York. She just started spinning. She loves all fiber, and she's been following Fibertown for a while. Thank you so much. Let me see. What is your name, your real name? You are Leslie. Excellent. Thank you, Leslie. We have another New York state person here. It is Sweet Pea Farm NY. And she was member 1000. Oh my goodness, congratulations. She's a shepherdess and a new podcaster. Okay, I have to check that out. Sweet Pea Farm NY podcast. And she's number 446 in the introductions thread if you'd like to check that out. And she's in upstate New York. She spins, felts, and just has begun knitting. And she loves Alice and the podcast. Thank you. Oh my goodness, she raised and showed Boston Terriers for years before she moved to the farm. We've got another Boston Terrier person coming up in a minute, so they're pretty awesome. Thank you for introducing yourself. I love your little lamb, Ravatar. You are Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. And now we have Brittany M.I., who's Brittany from Portland, Oregon. And she likes watching the scrap yarn blanket grow because it's inspired her to knit on hers. She's got 98 squares. Ooh, she started it in October, so about a year after I started mine. Thank you for the time and energy you put into the podcast. It's my pleasure. Thank you for watching and your kind words. And now we have a little Boston Terrier Ravatar for Bliss Cat, who is Katrina from Oklahoma. And of course she likes Alice. How can you not? She lives on a farmlet in Oklahoma, so I totally get what a farmlet is. I picture, maybe Joanna Spring, do you think you live on a farmlet, or is it a farm? Or are you even watching? I don't know. So she has been using crochet, knitting, and spinning to help her survive the miserable Midwest winters for 7 years. They have 2 Bostons, and she says she'll never be without at least one as long as she lives. They're kind of special. Currently knitting socks, blankets, a vest, and a cardigan that may never get finished. Come on, you can do it. And she loved the Always episode, which I think was her first. Thank you so much, Bliss Cat, who is, I said Katrina from Oklahoma. All right, thank you, everybody. And with that, let's go ahead and do our giveaway. You can't be here for that. All right, I'm going to try using Siri for that. I want to, for the random number drawing, Siri, give me a number between 2 and 211. Did I say that right?
The answer is 56.
Did you hear? Random 56. Now, I don't think that's going to be sort of an outside kind of post. A few of you congratulated me in this post on reaching 1,000 members, and I was hoping one of those wouldn't get pulled because I would have to re-pull for that. But let's see who 56 is. Have you guys already looked it up? Okay, I'm going to make this be a little more suspenseful, and I'm going to lock it before I look because I forgot to lock it. But I did count everybody. Okay. Yes, I did. Okay, everyone got counted. Oops, that's not going to be the right page. Oh, yes, it was the right page. Sorry. So number 56 is Knitting Mary B. Oh, who's from Brazil? From Alphaville, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Oh my goodness. The Wollmeise is going to Brazil. So from Germany to the States to Brazil. From Germany to the Washington, D.C. area where I live, to Brazil. Knitting Mary B, it is your Glückstag. It's your lucky day. This is the Glückstag colorway in Intensität Dunkel. So, very dark version of Dunkel. And for some reason, that amazing magenta is not showing up. It's a ruby color. This is the twin base, so it has the polyamide in it. I see you down there looking at me. Alice says, congratulations. Thank you guys for participating. Thank you for helping me reach 1,000 members. Thank you for just being part of the podcast, which is what this is all about, really. To increase the group size is just to increase that community that has given me a lot. And in honor of 1,000 members and 3 years podcasting, I am going to make my Bleather Socks pattern a free pattern from here on out. Just as a thank you, it's going to be free forevermore. It's a very fun pattern, very cushy, perfect, cozy knitting for a day like today. Anyway, Knitting Mary B. Send me your address and I will send that to Brazil. Now, if you have previously purchased the Bleather Socks and you're like, wait a minute, I already bought those, let me know. I can tell if you have bought it based on your Ravelry name. I will gift you another one of my sock patterns if you feel cheated, because I felt like, I might feel that way. So, or I will gift it to a friend of yours if you already have the other socks. All right, let's start with our That's the Fear Spark of the Alice. She saw my father go by. We live in a multi-generational compound. Let me just show you. That's the start of the snow, folks. Do not lick the chair. Oh, there's my dad. Sylvie, c'est pour toi. C'est Sparky. Sorry, that's for a French friend of mine who has not seen my father in ages. So I just wanted to say, she just finally let me, she's my French mother. She let me know that she started watching the podcast to practice her English and just to see what's going on, and she gets to see my dad, Sparky. And now This podcast is so out of joint. This is not typical, really. Maybe it is. I don't know. Okay. I have some significant FOs today. I'm very happy to share them with you. Let me show you my sewing one first. I sewed another schoolhouse tunic. That is by Sew Liberated. This is the pattern. Mine is shorter than that. It's about hip length. And this is the best pattern. These are the best. This pattern has produced the best FOs, sewing-wise, garments that I have made so far. I'm bummed about this because the stripes don't match up on the front, but look at the back. It's pretty good, right? The reason the stripes don't match up on the front is because of these box pleats. There are two of them here. They really sort of threw things off. This one over here does not match up entirely at the top, but I wear just a tank top underneath this, and these stay closed very nicely, or they can sort of flip back, and it's lined. Yeah, so that's the right side as well. So it's very comfortable. It's flattering. It's I think I did the bias binding back here very nicely. The bias neckband, not binding. I did a better job on the shoulders this time. You have to hand sew the shoulders, and I used blanket stitch. You just hand sew from here to here, basically. From right there to right here. So I used some of my newfound stitch skills from Rebecca Ringquist's Creative Bug class, the blanket stitch, which I had not known how to do before. So just simple hems, simple hem, and this is fabric I got from Finch Sewing Studio, which also has yarn, and that's in Leesburg, Virginia. It's a cotton, I think it's woven in India, and it's soft and doesn't wrinkle much. It's a substantial cotton. I actually think this would look lovely as a tea towel, but I really love pink and yellow. In fact, I'm sort of mentally planning some pink and yellow, or pink and orange, but I have a wonderful pink hazelnuts that I'd like to pair with a yellow Malabrigo sock in a 2-color shawl. Love that. I also love pink and orange, but I don't have a great orange. Maybe I'll have to dye one. Hey, Alice, leave it. Sorry, I oiled my chairs today. Oiled the wood because it's been very dry. They're teak. They're like hand-me-downs. And I just put olive oil or vegetable oil on them occasionally. And then I have to remember to keep her away from them because she thinks they're a lovely treat. Okay, sorry about that. So that was my schoolhouse tunic. I love it. I would be wearing it if it weren't so cold. However, I could be wearing my next FO. Both of my next FOs. The Nanook is off the needles. And it is washed and dry, but the ends are still in there. Okay, perhaps I'll wear this next time. This is the Nanook, and it's by Heidi Kiermaier. I knit it mostly on US 6s, which is a 4mm, but at the end I switched to US 7s, and I think I should have knit the whole thing on US 7s. So it's off the needles, it fits. It's a bit flary in the back, but just at the mid-back. I added extra stitches there. That was probably not the best idea, but it's totally doable. When I say it's wearable, that sounds bad. It's completely wearable. In fact, maybe I'll do a costume change later. I know. I will take some beauty shots out in the snow later and post them on Instagram. So it's garter stitch panels on each front, and I'm amazed at the variation in color, in shades. This is my hand spun. And you can see right there where a new skein was started. There is a yellow line. And it was a very beautiful ivory. That just must have been a concentration of ivory. It shows a lot less up close, but when you do bring it back, boom, you see that yellow line. So modifications, there were several. The first one I mentioned, the modifications didn't start until the underarms. I cast on extra stitches at the underarms, so the sleeves had 10 extra stitches. They're still not the loosest sleeves ever. Again, totally doable. Kind of wish the 1x1 rib looks much better blocked than it did unblocked. Still not my favorite. I don't know why. And in fact, I decided to do 2x2 rib at the bottom. That was another modification. Increased 20 extra stitches on the back. Probably not the greatest idea. I'm going to do some embroidery, just a little flower here. And look, you can see more of that more intense ivory in places. The stitches blocked out very nicely. And in fact, I should say that this was a sheep to sweater project. This started out as a Cotswold Coopworth lamb fleece. It was about, I want to say about between 1.5 pounds and 2 pounds. It's a long wool, but the staple length was about this because it was a lamb. It was for shearing. Or some people call that a hogget fleece, if that's the first shearing. What else was different here? Yes, this. I was afraid of running out of yarn, and in fact, I had to do something creative at the end. But you can see that the garter line up here, I did a diagonal, this is mirrored, it's so hard to find where you're looking. I just decreased every right side row. Not decreased. I put another stitch into stockinette every right side row as I went down. On both sides. It doesn't make a lot of difference, frankly, but it was fun. And I did do an I-cord bind off at the garter stitch sides and then changed to a regular bind off there. So I need to clean up some of that. And there's my other side I-cord bind off. It makes a nice little turn of the corner, as you can see right there. So beautiful. My Nanook is finished, except for the embroidery and the ends being woven in. It smells amazing. Oh yes, I do have to tell you the very important modification. So I really should have knit this on 7s the entire way. I like the fabric better. It was just more pleasant to knit on 7s. You might notice that the ribbing at the very bottom is different. And I went to my stash because I knew that even if I ripped out my swatch and applied the fraction of an ounce that I had still on a bobbin, I would not have enough. I went to my stash and said, okay, what can I do? Maybe I can do this in a brown or a gray and just do a band of color on the bottom and a matching one on the cuffs. But no. I was able to find an almost perfect match thanks to these people who are pretty much the best. The Ross Farm, Heritage and Rare Breed Fibers. This is a Leicester Longwool, which is an American Livestock Breed Conservancy critically endangered breed. And this actual sheep was Kimberly. She's a worsted 3-ply. I would call this a DK, folks, at least for my knitting style. And Leicester Longwools, like Cotswold Coopworths, are longwools, as the name implies. Can I just show you? That's the rest of the skein. You may have noticed a difference in the weight of the yarn in terms of the stockinette to the ribbing. The ribbing is all Leicester Longwool. But the color is absolutely spot on perfect. So that's all about my Nanook. All right. Get some snowy pictures of me in the Nanook later. Oh yes, my other FO is the sockhead hat. That is knit out of Blue Moon Socks that Rock, the late weight in the farmhouse colorway. This is for my aunt who lives on a farm, not a farmlet, a full-on farm with lots and lots of acres. Now maybe I'll just test drive this hat for her this weekend. How adorable is that? It's adorable, right? Now she wants a rosette put on it. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna cut up some felt in gradiating like flower shapes, graduating sizes actually, different colors maybe that are in here, and put a button in the middle, sew it in, and it'll be a little rosette I can put maybe here. And maybe I'll have it be detachable because I don't think this hat needs anything. She wants a rosette. This is the second sock head. Yeah, I see you jumping. This is the second sock head I've made. This took me 4 days. I knit the last bit of it in the movies, before the decreases rather. And I need one for me because both of the ones I've knit have been gifts. Sorry, my hairs. The dog. I have another hat on the needles out of this. We're moving on to whips now. Rowan brushed fleece. I don't love knitting with this. Maybe once I change to, well, I have changed to stockinette, haven't I? It's some big needles, maybe that's the problem. 6.5 millimeters, which are a 10.5. These are Brittany DPNs, and it's a very pretty color, but I haven't wanted to knit on it. Maybe that'll change now that then Nanook is done and I'm a little more focused. But I wanted to send that off to the farmer husband of my aunt. So we'll see. The other work in progress is over here. I will get you up here when I can. Do not start making a fuss at me. It's in one of my Holland Handmade bags. And while I'm getting it out and putting it on a sock blocker, I will just tell you that the Doodler and the Mountain Colors sock for my husband and the sock yarn blanket have not been knit on. But I plan to knit everything this weekend. I plan to craft all of the things. I have no obligations other than occasional cooking. Housework is done. Husband is gonna do whatever housework needs to be done so that I can do everything else that I want to do. All right, this is from the Knotted Knitwits October Sky Victory Sock. This is a lovely sock base. The dyeing is lovely. This is the Blueberry Waffle pattern, which is a free pattern. It's a broken rib, and I've waffled just the front of the socks, which is my preference if there's a pattern usually, so that I can see what the yarn does. And it's not in pattern. Isn't that pretty? Look at in the small circumference. It's gorgeous. This would have made an amazing baby sweater. Holy cow. So I'm doing my usual sock pattern, US 1.5s, 64 stitches, and I'm just starting the heel flap on this one. And I do my riverbed gusset, and all is right with the world. Boom. You want to come up, don't you? Those are all the whips I'm going to show you. I want to move on to spinning. I have 2 things to show you in spinning. And then we'll do sewing and acquisitions. And at some point, remind me to talk about the cozy along. Okay? Okay. Drink. I burned myself and cut myself like in the same place. If you're wondering what's going on there, I'm fine. Except for a dog that's staring holes into me. Hi. Alrighty, I have taken out a bat. I don't recall everything that's in this bat, but it's amazing. This is from Teasel, Kimberly, who is Knit Country on Instagram, and I think on Ravelry as well. This is a bat she sent me with an order I made. Do not scratch my sweater. I'm spinning it on my brand new Tibetan from Spanish Peacock. I Got this at Shenandoah this year. Couldn't resist. It was a new sort of Tibetan design that was an oopsie, apparently. It doesn't have the rounded bell shape that he normally does. So I have my temporary cup here. My first yarn is wound on down here. I believe this has alpaca as well as a lot of other natural colored yarns. So this was just one evening this week when I was like, Calgon, take me away. I need to spin something new and just get my mind off things. Because, you know, things happen. Anyway, so that has started. That's much more accurate. It's much more of a gray than a brown. Cool. But it does have brown bits in it. You can see some there. That is spinning number 1. I think it's just a 1.5 ounce bat, so very fun to spin. It's going to be probably a long-term spin. And I need to pick up the Tunis from Ross Farm that I've been spinning because that has been neglected. Excuse me while I pop behind my computer and grab these two. So yogurt. Yogurt is another fleece to probably sweater spin that I have been doing. I was hoping this would be the end of this particular part of yogurt. Alas, I shouldn't say alas, I'm enjoying yogurt. I just wanted to move on, okay? But yogurt said no, not yet. If I had done yogurt as a 2-ply, it would have been good to go. No, I insisted on a 3-ply. These are the skeins I have so far. Spun on my Ladybug. Spun from Yogurt, who is a Romney Border Leicester Corriedale cross. Oof, that one's got a lot of energy in it still. These are unwashed. Is that one twisted a little? Yeah, it is. So this is the yogurt, part of yogurt that was combed and spun mostly woolen, so semi-woolen because it was combed. I used a long draw. The mix of preparation and technique make it a semi-woolen. And it's a 3-ply, as I said, unwashed. This is only 800 yards. I was kind of hoping, I want to dye this gray. So I was kind of hoping to knit the Fisher Lassie by Bon Marie Burns out of yogurt. I don't even know if the gauge would work. However, the Nanook gauge was probably not correct either. I just tend to go for these things and hope they work out. Don't try that at home, okay? Because I've had issues. Anyway, there's a close-up of the yogurt. So pretty. So blinding white. Now I've spun these all on my second smallest, I spun the singles on my second smallest ratio and plied them on the smallest ratio, which helps a woolen spun yarn hold together better in the plying. I don't know if it's really necessary for a longer wool like this though, because there's just not as much chance of breakage because of the strength of the actual wool due to its staple length. And that's why you would ply a woolen yarn tighter. Some say that you should not spin a long wool in a woolen style. And I do what I want. So, and I was vindicated in this approach when I took the course with Deb Robeson at Shenandoah this fall. She said, there are no rules. If you're not enjoying something or if it's not coming out the way you like it, spin it the exact opposite way or prepare it the exact opposite way that people say you should. For example, totally short staple length, try combing it if you don't like carding it. If you don't like the carded result, comb it. Use mini combs or bigger combs, and there's no rule that says you can't. So this particular skein, I think, came out super lofty. These two. I don't know what the difference was. I did them all the same. I plied from different storage bobbins. But these two are definitely shinier and denser than these two. It's part of the charm of a hand-spun garment. You saw the Nanook. There are inconsistencies in color, in the stitch size. I love it. I think it's part of the charm. So I have lots more yogurt. I left about 6 ounces uncombed, just in the lock state, washed with some lanolin still. I've combed a bit more of it, so I'm going to spin another 3 ounces, at least. Probably more. I'm not washing it until it's all done. So, yeah, that's it for spinning for now. I've had so much natural colored spinning that this weekend I'm just going to treat myself and slap something insanely colorful on the wheel. And I still have the Ashford country spinner. I should put something on that too. Borrowing that from a friend. Oh, I have an announcement to make regarding that friend. Hang on. That friend is my friend Sarah. She is the one who brought the Wollmeise from Germany, and she is back in the area. And she had an idea this year that she was going to knit a year of Stephen West patterns. And she was considering whether or not she would do a blog or a podcast, a video cast. And I said, you know, a blog, I feel like it's a lot more work because you have to take the photos and upload the photos and add the photos and caption the photos and edit the photos and then do your writing and put all your links and all that jazz. Whereas on a video podcast, you can just show and talk. Yes, there are technical aspects, but it's more of a one-time deal setting it up, and then once you get your process, you can do it in a pretty streamlined way once you get your process set up. But even that was a bit much for now for her. She has 3 kids. She's super busy. 2 of them are under the age of 4. So I said, would you like to come on Fibertown? Maybe once a month and show your West knitting. So she is going to do that in February, starting in February sometime. She will be on to talk about her year of West knits. I don't know if she'll be with me or by herself, but I'm very much looking forward to it. So yeah, look for that in February. And if you want to follow her, she is @_Flauneuse on Instagram. FLANE, EUSE. I think that's right. I'm going to double check. Oh, Instagram. Oh, I have 2 people I need to. 2 people left me messages. Okay. Yeah, that's correct. That's the correct spelling. Sewing. Alrighty. I made out of the fabric I purchased at Finch Sewing Studios. It's kind of my new favorite place. I made my first coaster. This was the Birch, one of the new Birch fabric lines. It's a little quilted coaster. I was completely inspired by Kimberly of Teasel. She sent me one of these before. So I cut out a square of the Birch fabric, and it comes in squares. And this is the back that I chose. Yep. Quilted them together. I used a navy thread on my bobbin and a white thread in my bobbin, a navy thread on top of the machine. I don't know what that's called. And some quilt batting in between. And then I used some pinking shears. It's probably not perfectly square, but isn't that cute? So here's some other ones. I got that one, some pine trees, some arrows, a horse, a Dala horse. I call it the Dala horse. Ooh, love this one. And the bear. So those will all be turned into coasters. And they will be going in, as Erin of Holland Handmaids calls them, friendship packages. I have a friendship package to show you in acquisitions today. Okay, my sampler, there's my spindle bowl. My sampler, oh, my son did a couple legs on his squid. While I was at Finch Sewing Studios, I picked up the sashiko thread I showed you guys last time. This is what it looks like. Made in Japan, 100% cotton. This was colorway, I don't know if that's a colorway, 51. And I'm working on my drop cloth sampler. And I use the thread to do this. So this is a chain stitch that's just tacked down, and then this is, oh my gosh, this is hard to make my fingers go in the right way. There we go. That's backstitched. Isn't that fun? And then I did some satin stitch for the little tulip. And over here, I'm going to do this little dandelion poof, like this one. I'm going to do that one in the same sashiko thread. And I want all of the colorways now. I'm kind of in love. Oh, I also did these straight stitches right here. It's so relaxing and so fun. That's it for sewing. So on to acquisitions. You might recall that over the holidays I knit 3 bookmarks. And I was paid for them. And really I knit them thinking that they wouldn't want to pay that much money for them. But I underestimated the desperation to find a present for a loved one for whom it is hard to shop. So with some of that, I was able to place an order with Brit Yarns. And I bought some things I had been eyeing for a while. Now, this is West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply, 35% British Blueface Leicester, and 25 nylon. This is in, oh gosh, I think this is the Kingfisher colorway. They do not label, it's the Birds colorway, the Birds collection. And I think this is Kingfisher. It's blues and oranges, which always go together well. You know when you eat M&Ms, do you have color combos that you prefer? I think it probably says a lot about the color wheel. I love my greens and browns together. That's a given. And I love my blues and oranges together. So I also got the Owl colorway. These are very soft and yet rustic. Oh, it's an enigma. It's an enigma. The last thing to show you today, before I talk about the cozy along, the last thing to show you is an amazing package. That I knew it was coming. Didn't know what was going to be in it, and I did not expect the wonderful stuff that I got. This is from String Bean, Christina, and we're internet friends, for lack of a better term. Internet spinning, knitting, and doggy friends. That's weird, but you know what I mean. And my friend Kate she was the connecting glue there. And I recently sent her a package, and I knew this was in the offing, and she sent me some amazing things. She's a great spinner. You've seen her stuff before. However, she sent me this. Traditional Medicinals, Lavender and Chamomile. I love this tea. I love this so much. Yeah, I placed an Amazon order pretty much immediately to get more of that. Although it's still in my cart. I haven't placed the order. I need to go to Whole Foods and see if they carry it before I have a package sent. I've checked other places and I haven't found it. She also sent me, where's the card with this? Something that I was not able to get when it was out, that I really always wanted. And these are the Cormo Yak Silk Poonies. And there are just a couple here, 6 of them to be exact. Cormo Yak Silk. Oh. Amazing little poonies. These will be spun probably on my bead whorl. Maybe my Russian. I don't know. Love those. Oh, there was also some chocolate that was sent, which has already been snacked on a little bit, but it was delicious, and I've already been to Trader Joe's to get more of it. Yeah. This is your public thank you, Christina. This is telling you how much I love this package. I will also tell you over the internet, so written down, but this is just me saying, wow, thank you. Now this was out in the open as I got the package, and I've always wanted to try Countess Ablaze. I take it out of here because this might be what goes on the wheel this weekend. Countess Ablaze is a UK dyer, and never had any of it. Look at that. I think Christina had 2 of these, and it was not her thing, she said. So this is from the 12 Caesars collection. Vitellius. And an obscure family. It's Merino, Angelina, Baby Alpaca, and Seacell. How on earth will I ever spin this? I don't know. I won't know till I start, probably. And I imagine this was pulled off of the drum carder. Is this hand-pulled roving? Because this could not possibly have been dyed this way. This must be pulled off the carder. See, yeah, this was definitely carded and then pulled off, probably through a diz, maybe? Maybe not. I don't know. That's a lot of work. And this is gorgeous. That's totally going to get spun. Totally. Don't want to miss anything from this package of amazingness. But the next thing I'm going to show you, I don't think I have missed anything so far. I need to double check though. That was the chocolate. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay. This is the last thing. And it was wrapped up. And this is the noise I made when I unwrapped it. I kind of wished I had filmed myself unwrapping this. Oh! Like that. Now, when I look at this, you know what I see? I see Mexican worry dolls. You know, or Guatemalan. I think they're Guatemalan. Latin American. This is amazing. Let me tell you more about it. So, Hobbledehoy, Rainbow Reflections Batlings, and there's the content. It was from a Batling club. And she spun these on a wire core. Ply Curious is her Etsy store. She sells hand spun. This is 28 yards, hand wash only, spun on a wire core, okay? Let me take this off. Because my immediate thought was, oops, hang on. My immediate thought was this. This needs to be a necklace. But there are so many possibilities for what this should become. So this is just folded in half. Oh yes, this needs to be made into jewelry. Okay, by craftier people than me. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. I'm insanely in love with this. I have some wire. Maybe I need to try to... It's called Mad Collab. Love it. I love it. I'm speechless. So what do I need to tell you before I say goodbye? The cozy along. Will we have one more podcast before that ends? Yes. Yes, we will. January's word is cozy. There could not be a more perfect opportunity. Let me show you the progress of the snow. More perfect opportunity for just sitting inside with a warm beverage, your cozy crafting. Be cozy. The cozy long thread is full of amazing inspiration. Sorry about the rattling there. And yeah, just let us know what you're up to that is cozy. What makes you think of coziness? My plans for the weekend are possibly to warp my rigid heddle. I have a new book called Inventive Weaving on a Little Loom, which has kind of revolutionized what I know about warping a small loom. And I think I know what I've been doing wrong, and I want to give it another go. It's all about the warping. But I want to do all of the crafting. I'm just going to hunker down and do whatever comes to mind that makes me happy. There's one other thing to show you, I think. Anyway, whatever makes me happy, whatever makes you happy, please put it in the cozy along. Whatever makes you feel cozy or brings to mind, something going on in your life that is cozy. And yes, I remember now what I wanted to show you. Hang on. One last thing before I go. I know my Sylvie will appreciate this. I listened to the Living Homegrown podcast. Oh my gosh. And I decided to make cultured butter. Right now what I have is creme fraiche. So what I have is heavy cream. The Living Homegrown podcast has a lot of interesting preserving ideas, canning, preserving, gardening kind of things. And I'm going to turn this into butter and buttermilk. You could just leave it as it is, as creme fraiche, but I'm going to go and make cultured butter, which has a lot of flavor to it. And then I'm going to use the buttermilk to make pancakes, because one of our meals this week will be breakfast. Bacon and sausage and pancakes and fruit. So yeah, right now I have made creme fraiche with just heavy cream and letting it sit overnight on the counter with a few tablespoons of plain yogurt. So you can't use ultra pasteurized anything because the bacteria growth won't be there, but and it's beneficial bacteria. So cultured butter also has the probiotics in it. So I'm very excited to make butter later. And I'll just put it in my stand mixer and whip it until it forms butter, which shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. So I think that's a nice cozy project, and then it will go on some home-baked bread. I actually did this already, and it's delicious, and can't wait to do it again. And I used more. I'm going to make a larger quantity this time. So yeah, anything that comes up that evokes coziness, please tell us about it and put it in the thread. There will be probably a pattern prize this month. I am tapped out in terms of sending things via the mail. So the Wollmeisel will be it for a while until funds are regenerated. And yeah, so I'll let you know in February what the word will be and when you can expect to see my friend Sarah doing her Year of West Knits on Fibertown. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what you all are doing and just sharing and chatting and hanging together. And I just, one last time, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being a Fibertownie and spending time chatting about all of our crafty pursuits. So until next time, take care.